Oh, the lighting's horrible. Sorry about the lighting. Welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone.
To another week 3 or something of
Catch us on the couch.
Catch Us on the Couch. You had another one.
Weekly couch chat.
Weekly couch chat. I'm not much of a chat kind of person, but that works, I guess. Anyway, welcome back, and an exciting week it was. Record breaker for us, because in a few different ways. So probably the one thing that we really hadn't, I don't know, it's been working so well, we just ignored it, I guess, but the fridge finally blinked, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, it stopped.
One morning.
We thought it had stopped working. I went to get my frozen blueberries out of the freezer, and they were completely thawed out, and the temperature in the fridge was high.
Yeah.
And luckily, the meat in the freezer was still frozen.
We caught it early enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the freezer had been building up frost, so we kind of knew eventually we would have to defrost it, but the fridge just went into, what we found out later is the fridge just went into a defrost cycle automatically. And so everything went into coolers, and it was certainly cold enough outside to keep things cold.
Right.
But and then it defrosted, and then I picked up the puddle in the freezer, and Tim did a little bit of troubleshooting or cleaning of the drain hose. And when you get an issue like that, we have the option of going electric or propane. So I did some troubleshooting and checked to see if I could find anything obvious. Everything seemed to be working right. I could actually hear when it was on the propane, it was actually, I could hear you could hear it running.
I actually took the cover off and went out and saw the flame. So I knew the propane was working, and but I wasn't quite sure what was going on. But I figured at that point, since the propane was working and it was switching over to electric and working, I figured probably not too much to worry about. Probably was going into a defrost cycle, so I didn't freak out too much. But it took better part of the day. Like you said, we had to get everything out.
I took everything out, and like I said, mopped up that water and closed it back up. And it took a good 5 or 6 hours for it to get down to a safe temperature again.
Yeah.
And so we put stuff back in the fridge that night when it had been at a safe temperature for like 3 hours. And the freezer stuff stayed outside in the other cooler for the night until we knew for sure that it was going to be okay. And it's been working fine. We've been monitoring the temperature. Yeah,
it's been working fine. So and that's the first time I've noticed it go through a defrost cycle. And it didn't. Yeah. Usually there's the fins on the back of the fridge that the cooling fins, and those collect in the fridge part they don't, but in the freezer they do. But there's a drip pan right there, and that drip pan has a hose that goes out to the back outside. And when I took the cover off, I discovered that hose had been curled up and was never draining anything. And it froze a couple inches of ice in it, but it didn't matter because the drip tray was completely dry, so we knew it wasn't coming down from the freezer or nothing like that, or the fridge. So at any rate, we got that figured out, and working good. So hopefully we don't have any more issues with that. We do have a little backup college refrigerator, but that's obviously runs on AC, so we want to try and avoid using that.
And we haven't used it for years, so I'm not even sure it would still work.
Yeah, but we got a good chance for us to make sure the pantry is in order, because if the fridge dies, well, in winter it wouldn't be too bad, but in the summertime it would be definitely an issue. So nice to have. You did some work on your pantry this week.
I did some more organizing in my outside pantry, and I also did a pantry video on a huge haul that I got from Sam's and Walmart, and I'll put a link down below for that if you're interested. It felt good to get everything on the shelf and labeled and organized. Now I'm starting to go through the household stuff for items that we could benefit from using, or that things that we've been looking for but haven't found yet.
Yeah.
So, just getting organized. Because once the weather warms up, not gonna have time for any of that stuff.
Right. Slowly getting stuff out that we packed away. Family photos. Some family photos are nice.
Yeah.
And a few little things that look familiar. Some pillows and stuff. So it's nice to try to get home back into our little RV camper here.
Yeah.
So
make it our own.
Kind of nice. Yeah. So we apologize for the poor lighting right now. This is the best we have. It's kind of, the sun's going down. It's 4:41. So the days are definitely getting longer. Really, really nice.
Yeah.
It's just a really, really nice feeling to see the days getting longer, the mornings brighter, and the nights like today. But the lighting situation here, unfortunately, is not the best. We apologize. We're going to work on getting some kind of a lighting situation here so we can do this a little bit better, even though the summer's coming and we won't have that much of a problem. But the reason I brought it up is because of our power situation. We've been struggling with the power situation this week. It had a lot to do with the weather, obviously just really cold temperatures, which I'll get to in a minute. But the power situation we're having right now, I explained in previous videos with the Blue Eddy that whenever we turn the generator off, the Blue Eddy would momentarily reboot, and that just reboots everything in the RV, which isn't a huge deal, but some things that, like the diesel heater, doesn't like to be turned off suddenly like that. So little things that just cause a little bit of an issue. But we did order a new generator, and the new generator will be here tomorrow.
Yes.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
And in the search for the generator, we discovered something that we hadn't seen, which I wish we had, because it sounds like it would have been more suitable for our current situation off-grid where we have no power at all. And it would have addressed a lot of the issues that came up this week with the cold temperatures, which basically when the temperatures, Tuesday, I think it was Tuesday night, we got down to 21 below, negative 21, and I thought that was pretty cold. And then the next night we had a reading of negative 23.
Yeah.
And that was, so what happens is when it gets that cold is everything's just running more. So the furnace is running more. We are running the oven for supplemental heat. We do turn the oven on in the evening just to give it a little more, give the furnace a rest. Because if we didn't have some kind of supplemental heat going on at night, then the furnace would run more, we'd suck more power. Just,
yeah,
I'm sure the furnace could probably handle it, no problem. But if I can take some of the, the use off of it. Now we do have the catalytic heater, but I don't like to run that at night when we're sleeping, even though it's flameless. It does get very hot, and we do have 2 pets here, so
yeah,
the last thing I need is the cat running around at night with a paper bag, playing with a paper bag or something. And
yeah, she's a little rambunctious and getting stir crazy.
Yeah. So so the heating situation this week was kind of rough. The diesel heater ran quite often. When it gets down that low, we had to run it to just keep the underneath and the water from freezing and whatnot, which we did. Everything worked out great.
It's been working great. Yeah.
It's been working great, and it been nice and warm in here. We keep it in the 65 to 70 typically, in that range. It varies, so it's warm. But as far as the power usage, that was really draining a lot of power. So obviously the generator has to run a lot, and when it gets down to sub 20 degree weather like that, the generator doesn't like to start. And so what I was typically doing is I would just start the generator, charge it to 100%, go to bed, wake up when it got down to 30% or so. I would check it periodically on the app on our phone. And when I saw it getting down to maybe 40% or so, I would remote start it, and hopefully it would start. But when it gets really cold, the remote start wouldn't work. So I'd have to get up, get out of bed, go outside, unplug it, unplug the Blue Eddy, and then the generator would start. and now I have it connected to a vehicle, so I sometimes have to start the vehicle once or twice. At any rate, so I would have to take care of all that, and then the generator would take an hour to fully charge to 100%. So then once it got to 100%, I could shut it off and go back to bed. But then because it's so cold and everything's running so much, it discharges quickly. So within 4 hours or so, it's down to 50%. So I got to get up and charge again. So it's quite a routine, and it really wore on me this week. So I tried a few different methods. I tried that method. I tried running it all night one night. I figured, well, it's going to get down to, I think that was the 23 below. The first night, 21 below, was a little bit rough, but the 23, I ran it all night. That worked pretty well, because once it got to 100%, if there was 300-400 watts being called for from the Bluetti, the generator would just replenish it, and it wasn't too bad. And the only issue with that is, even on eco mode, there's something about running the generator when you don't really need to, because you've got the battery back up at 100%. So to me, it's wasting fuel.
Yeah, but yeah, it was peace of mind. So you could at least get some rest. But
yeah,
it does use more propane.
Even on eco mode, even though it's like idle mode, it's got to use more over the course of time. So I went to a kind of a hybrid, I think last night, which kind of worked out, and the temperature moderation helps hugely too. Getting back to the generator, we're getting the new generator tomorrow. So hopefully the issues we're having with the current Harbor Freight one will go away, obviously, with the new generator. Although it, like I said, in the warmer weather, it's runs a little bit, starts a little easier and a little better, but reliability wise makes us a little nervous. The problem with the Bluetti we're having is it nothing to do with the power cycling. It charges properly. It just, we plug our RV into it. Everything on that end of it seems to be working fine. The screen on the front of the Bluetti, it no longer lights up. I can't go onto the Bluetti and touch the screen to light it up and get information off of it. It's dead, basically. And I had been going back and forth with Bluetti trying to figure out the problem we were having, where it was kicking everything off when I turned off the generator. And when I explained to them that they asked me for some information that I could only get from the screen, I didn't have a screen. So they got back to me basically and said they'd like me to ship the Bluetti back to them and take it back, which I did buy. We did buy it from them in October. So I'm not sure what the warranty situation is or not. And the AC300, it's a pretty heavy unit. It's probably 40 pounds or so. It's not a light thing. It's got a couple inverters and whatnot in it. So when I got the email this morning, they asked me to put it back in its original packaging, make sure it's all ready to go back, taped up, and take a picture of it, send them a picture of it, that it's all ready to go back. And then they will issue a return label to have it picked up. And I assume from there they would send a new one. I'm assuming this means they're not going to ship us a new one, and then they want their old one back before they ship us a new one. Unfortunately, that's not going to work for us.
Right? Yeah, we need that. We need that battery.
we need the Bluetti. So Bluetti, if you're listening, you're not going to be able to get it back, and I will explain that in an email. Unfortunately, we're going to have to find some other solution. I'm not sure what that's going to be. We'll have to figure something out. But in the process of looking for a new generator, we were discussing how I was telling Brenda how it would be really, really nice if the Bluetti would be able to communicate with the generator, and when it got down to a certain percentage, it would automatically kick the generator on and fully charge it, so it was basically maintenance free. Those are kind of way the home systems work. And so when we were looking for a generator, we happened to stumble across a company that makes that exact thing. It's a generator that connects to a battery pack and through a cable. I think it's 17-foot long cable. And I'm not keeping the company a secret for any reason. We're getting it tomorrow. It's called EcoFlow. and I got to take care of my cat here. And they make a unit that has a generator that is very nice. The specifications as far as the motor from a mechanic's perspective, it's got some features in it that I really, let's just say it makes it a little bit a step above the general market ones in terms of the construction of the motor and whatnot. So I like that aspect of it. It's got remote start features, and we'll go over everything when we get it and whatnot. We're looking forward to getting it, and we'll make a video about that. The interesting part is that it connects to a battery pack that will communicate and automatically keep everything going. And I really wish I had known that before we bought the Blue Eddy. I wish I had seen that system. I think it was new at the time. It's new to us, but I think it had just released it. They had a previous model, whatnot. I'm not familiar with it, but at any rate, unfortunately, the battery pack of that combination is pretty pricey. So we're not going to be able to get that part of it. We're going to get the generator part and continue using the Blue Eddy, and we'll continue doing it the way we've been doing it. It would be nice if I didn't have to, but unfortunately we're getting longer days, and it's just going to get better anyway. So I just don't want to spend, I think it would be another $2,500 or something for a battery pack that does what I just said as far as communicating.
I think it was more than that.
Well, the whole unit was $4,000 with the generator, but we bought the generator for I think $11,000, and we'll go over all that stuff later on. But at any rate, that was quite a stressful week in terms of dealing with the cold and stuff. If it's not often we get that low temperatures, and I think everybody in the area is kind of talking about it to some extent. We don't have a lot of snow, but we're really getting cold temperatures. And of course, there's the dispute of whether or not we actually hit negative 23 because of our personal weather station, which is the AccuRite. But you know what? I have the THERMPRO, and we did other videos about that too. So it doesn't matter. Within a few degrees, it was cold.
Oh yeah, and, especially in the camper.
Yeah. So we're we
were warm, but it was definitely required a lot of monitoring. Yeah, especially on Tim's part, and
it was quite a record week. So, but at any rate, we'll look forward. We'll do some more videos on that going forward. We got a lot of new videos. We got a lot of videos we've been putting out. We'll try to do what we can. We've been going for morning walk, going for Ellie walks in the evening. The Ellie walks are primarily for just kind of relax and unwind. We really don't want to talk too much. We just want to focus on Ellie and let her walk and play some interesting music. If anybody has any music that's copyright free or whatever, that's the music we're playing, and we hope you enjoy it and enjoy the artists that we're bringing to you guys. It's a subscription thing that we pay for, so we use them in our videos and whatnot, and we enjoy the music. So with the scenery and everything, it's an enjoyable time. And we're also doing what other videos are we doing? We got this one going, and of course we got the videos that we've been doing this week with the excavator.
Yes.
And February is coming up.
Yay.
Looking forward to it's coming. The Groundhog Day is Sunday.
Yeah. So Saturday's February 1st.
We'll see if the groundhog can get his way out of the frozen ground. But we'll see. But we're looking forward to February and longer days, warmer days, and easier hopefully going forward. Hopefully we've made it through the worst, and I think once you've gotten to, like we were saying tonight, we went for a walk, it was 35 degrees, which we'll put a video up. And I didn't even wear gloves for the whole walk, and it's like you're used to that 35 when you get that negative or single digits that 35.
Frostbite starts to happen quickly if you're not careful.
Yeah. Anyway, so anything else?
I don't think so.
No.
We're hoping this coming week is easier on us.
I could use a little bit more sleep.
Yeah.
But that'll come. And other than that, we'll end this video. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate all our subscribers. Please like, subscribe, and share. If you have any questions, leave them down below. and we'll do our best to get back to you. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
I'll keep praying to heaven and fighting like hell.